Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. So the final whistle has just gone. Aston Villa 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. We're back to winning ways, particularly after a dreadful week, losing the North London derby and crashing out of the Europa League. Goals from Carlos Vinicius and Harry Kane. We are now 3 points away from top 4. I can't believe I'm saying that, but top 4 is back on, and we could still end the season with a trophy. I'm delighted to bring on 3 special guests to talk about tonight's game. Gary, first of all, let's start with you. How are you doing?
Yeah, a lot better tonight. Feel a lot happier, actually. Yes, I wouldn't say it was the best performance in the world, but I think tonight was just all about getting the win. Just however we got it, I wasn't bothered in the slightest. I just wanted a win, so thank God for that. I got a bit nervous when Sissoko came on after 80 minutes, but we held out. And obviously, Reguilon getting injured, I was like, oh, here we go with Ben Davies. So, you know, the usual stuff that we all feel. But yep. Listen, we got the 3 points. That's all that matters to me now, so I'm pleased.
we will come on to it all. Josh, welcome to the channel again. How are you doing?
Not too bad, Chris. Yeah, happy, very happy with the 3 points today. Huge 3 points. We really needed that win. Obviously, Villa right up there in the league, and us in with a horrible week. And I'm glad we're at the back of that now. That's in the past. We've got to move on now. But well done to the boys for doing the job tonight. Honestly, tonight they've actually showed a bit of passion, a bit of energy, much better than midweek, and a huge well done to Carlos Vinicius and Lucas Moura, the Brazilian duo. I thought that they've just been absolutely fantastic tonight, won us that game, literally. So well done to them.
Absolutely. And my very special guest tonight, Richard Whitehead. Richard, I've wanted to get you on the show for a number of months now. Double Paralympic 200-metre gold medalist, marathon record holder and motivational speaker. And, of course, Tottenham Hotspur fan. Richard, welcome.
Big-ass Spurs fan, yeah. Big-ass Spurs fan. Number one, man. Mate, I've got so many Arsenal fans that have been giving me shit over the last week. And today, when Arsenal were 3-0 down, I was like thinking, oh yes, I've got it back on them, because I know we're going to beat Aston Villa today. But unfortunately, obviously, they pulled it back to 3-3. We delivered today, and like Josh just said, it wasn't the best performance, but I think it was more about the coming together of the team and working together, like all departments working together. I'm still really apprehensive about our back four, and even Hugo at the back looks dodgy. I don't know what he's catching at sometimes. It's definitely not the ball.
Yeah.
Gary, let's come back to you now. The starting 11, Jose Mourinho did certainly shake things up. We even had 2 16-year-olds on the bench today.
Yeah.
He changed the back 4 again. Hugo Lloris in goal, and in the back 4 of Tanganga, Sanchez, Rodon and Reguilon. In midfield, Giovanni Lo Celso, his first start since December, of course, coming back from injury. Ndombele and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Lucas Moura, Carlos Vinicius and Harry Kane. Only Carlos Vinicius, his second Premier League start of the season. Now, when you saw that starting 11, what did you think?
I was pretty happy. I think he made a bit of a statement. He changed the team around quite a bit. I mean, I think probably the obvious. I looked at Sanchez and was a little bit nervous, but listen, look, I've got to give him his due. He played pretty well tonight. I think there was one chance at one point. I think Tanganga helped him out. He got a bit lost, and Tanganga sort of helped him out there. But apart from that, I thought it was a good lineup, and I thought it made a statement, you know. And I thought the team played pretty good. I thought at the back we were good. Listen, look, it wasn't an amazing performance. You know, it's not like we went to Man U and having them 6-1. But at the end of the day, the nerves were always going to be there. You've changed the team around a fair bit. The main thing is just to get the win. Look, I think Harry Kane was very clever with the penalty. I think the first goal was brilliant. You know, Vinicius, you know, everything, the build-up to that. I know it was just a tap-in, but it was the build-up to that goal. It's just what we needed at the end of the day. You know, we're not going to, after them 2 defeats, go out and do a 4-5-0. I know we all want that. It's not going to happen. But we got the 3 points. I'm happy, and I was happy with the I did want to see Dane Scarlett. I'd like to have seen him get a little run on. That's the only thing I was a bit, you know, bring him on. I would like to have seen him even in the Europa game. I know we don't want to bring up, you know, bad memories, but even the last 10-15 minutes of that, I'd have liked to have seen him on. But other than that, I'm happy. Listen, how can you not be happy? You know, we've gone away, clean sheet, 3 points, happy days.
Josh, as Gary says there, it's all about the 3 points tonight. And, of course, we now go 3 points adrift of that top 4 place. Now, let's talk about the goal in the 29th minute. Reguilon played it forward. Martinez just couldn't deal with it. Moura to Kane. And then, Moura set up Vinicius for the tap-in. Carlos Vinicius has now scored 9 goals in 9 starts in all competitions. What did you think when Carlos Vinicius was in the starting 11, when the starting lineup come out?
Do you know what, Chris? I actually said to my dad, I said, "Oh, I'm actually really happy he's got a start because I think he's a really good instinctive goal scorer. I don't understand why people slag him off a bit because I think he's got a lot of goals for us in the FA Cup and in the Europa League. And I'm glad that he scored today, getting his first Premier League goal. And obviously, I think some of the Sky Sports commentators were mocking him a bit for his celebration, but they don't realise that he's doing it for his mum. Because there's a tragic story where his mum passed away.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? And that shows a lot of passion. And that's what I wanted to see as a fan after the literally crap week we've had as Spurs fans.
Yeah.
He goes out there, gets that early goal and shows us all as fans with that passionate celebration. And a great goal, as Gary said. The build-up to that goal was absolutely fantastic. Harry Kane getting involved, Lucas with a lovely square ball, and a good finish from Vinicius. I know it's a tap-in, but it's still a decent finish. So yeah, I was happy that Vinicius should play. And as Gary Neville said in the game, it was different. We're playing with a front two, Kane and Vinicius. We haven't really seen that for ever in the past kind of 6 years. We've always had Sonny and Kane and then another winger. But we've never had a backup striker. We had Janssen and he was useless, wasn't he? But Vinicius has come in and he's quality. And just to add another one, I thought Japhet Tanganga today was absolutely fantastic. He absolutely pocketed Trezeguet, who some Aston Villa fans call the best Egyptian in the league. But Tanganga did an absolutely cracking job today.
Yeah, you're right. He was my man of the match, Tanganga. I thought he was brilliant. I think there was, like I said a moment ago, I think he helped out Sanchez a couple of times, and that says something when he's helping out Sanchez. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, exactly.
Brilliant. And you know from the documentary All or Nothing, you know he loves playing for Tottenham. You know, wearing that badge, it means everything to him. You know, and that's what we need. You know, definitely agree with that, 100%.
Richard, let's come back to you. Obviously, that first 45 minutes, it wasn't the best. Only one shot on target between the two sides, which, of course, was Carlos Vinicius' goal. But it was all about just getting the job done tonight, wasn't it? Yeah,
definitely. And when I talk about Spurs, I talk about Spurs in regard of being obviously a massive Spurs fan, but also a performance athlete. I'm obviously an elite athlete. I know what some of these guys go through. And a lot of it's about confidence, you know, and being able to have that confidence not only with yourself and your own ability, but also your team and having that plan. When I look at obviously from the bench and from the management, I struggle to see the kind of the outlay of the plan sometimes. And I think the first half, obviously lots of changes from the previous 2 games, and I think the players were just not aware of the positions they should have been in, and the confidence on the ball. Sanchez in the first half, confidence on the ball wasn't really there, but he grew into the game, and I think that's for players like him. Remember, he's only young. He needs to have confidence around him, and to put Rodon in there was a masterstroke, I think, because instead of having somebody that was very slow and very one-dimensional, I think he showed Sanchez some confidence there, and I think he's going to be a great player for Spurs with appearances and being given that platform. First half, really tough watch. Going in half-time 1-0, I think holding that scoreline was really important, and we built off that. Obviously, every time that ball goes into the box, I'm so nervous. I'm literally so nervous. Yeah. But Aurier wasn't on the pitch, so I was okay. And I think Vinicius and Kane up front, I think that showed to me that the ball was going to come in more into the box, because obviously we know Vinicius is a box player, and that allows Kane to work around those channels outside the box. I think Spurs need to work to his strengths, which is getting that ball in early, and I'm sure Vinicius is going to score lots more goals for us.
Richard, as a motivational speaker yourself, after the week that Tottenham have had, of course, losing the North London derby, which means a hell of a lot to us fans, and of course, Jose Mourinho has been saying about Tottenham can go all the way to the Europa League final, and of course, the way we crashed out on Thursday, what do you think that Jose Mourinho was saying to his players before this game today?
Well, I heard he didn't go into the change room after the defeat in the Europa. So you go. He obviously has got leaders within the change room. He's obviously got a lot of experience in the change room. So I feel that the team themselves would deal with some of the issues that they had midweek. But I'm just still not sure if the players digest his messages. I think it looks like a bit wishy-washy how we play. I think for me, if I have a really shitty result, I want empowering. I want him to say to the players, look, I believe in you. I'm putting you in my starting 11. You're the best players of this club, and now show it. I'm a massive Lucas Moura fan, and I was in Madrid for the final, and I was so disappointed he wasn't playing, and then obviously Jose coming in and really embracing him. I think he's got a good position in the team now, Lucas. He works so hard. He showed that tonight. And he's somebody that I think a lot of the other players look to. His energy, the press. I love to see Spurs pressing. And the first half, we didn't press shirts, never mind players.
Yeah.
So the second half, we just went in hard. And I saw that, obviously, Kane was pressing a lot better. And we showed the true Spurs spirit. And obviously, that's when the result came from.
Gary, let's come to you. Obviously, a very, very important win tonight for Spurs, and that now puts us 3 points behind top four. Are you starting to feel confident again?
Do you know what? I said at the start of the season, right, and I've said this from the very, very beginning, like I called that we'd probably finish sixth, and I said we'd win the Carabao Cup. And now we're in the final of the Carabao Cup, and sixth is looking pretty much like it's a definite. I mean, I'd love to say we're going to finish fourth, and I know, Chris, you booked your tickets and the accommodation flights for the final of Europa, but there was never a moment. I didn't want to remind you about that, but there was never a moment in my mind where I thought we would get to the Europa final. For me, I think this season is about, getting the Carabao Cup, get a trophy behind you, winning a trophy. I know in regards to the board and, some of the fans are going to be 50. For me personally, I can only talk from me. If we get top six, we get, still get European football. If we win the Carabao Cup, we get a trophy. We ain't won. Listen, I was 9 years of age when we won the Europa. It was the UEFA Cup. I was at that game. I was 9 with my granddad, right? I then had to wait till, the next game I went to was 87. We lost that. We know what happened there with Gary Mabbott. 91, amazing. And the League Cup, 2000, been to all of them. If we win the Carabao Cup and we finish sixth, to me, that's great. I don't think there's enough in that team, player-wise, to get top four. But what do I know? It's possible. And when you say we're 3 points, is it 3 points away from top four?
It is.
I mean, it just shows how ridiculous this league is this season. I mean, I will say, look, Tottenham went on a good run, but Spurs is always like this. We're always Spursy, right? But in comparison to the other sides, apart from Man City, a lot of them have been dreadful. I mean, Liverpool have been, and if you compare us to Liverpool and what Liverpool have achieved in the last few years and then us, we're not doing that bad.
We're above Liverpool now.
Yeah.
I think when we play home and away, I think what Jose's starting to understand is that the personnel needs to be different. The plans need to be different. Bale doesn't play well at the moment away from home. He doesn't press enough. He does not press. And until he understands that he needs to be part of that high press, then we're always going to be on the back foot. Jose's, I think he's gone, actually, we were shit in that game because we're away from home. We played all the big guns and we weren't good enough. On paper, it looked fantastic. But practically, it didn't deliver. He's now thinking, at home we play, when he's fit, obviously, Son, Bale, Kane. Away from home, he's going to play 2 up front, and he's going to have more protection in front of that back four, I believe.
Yeah.
Josh, let's come to you. Roy Price writes on screen now. Roy, thank you very much for your question, your point here. Much needed 3 points, but for me, the players need to redeem themselves this season. It has to be top 4 and a League Cup. What would make your season? Now, we've spoke many times, you and I, Josh, and it does seem weird, doesn't it? We're all laughing, thinking we're 3 points away from top 4. This very up and down season, but I want this show to be positive because the last few have been extremely difficult to record.
Yeah.
Particularly with those results in the last couple of games. But 3 points away from top 4, and we're in a League Cup final. We could finish in the top 4, and we could end the season with a trophy. So what's that problem?
Exactly, I do agree with you. But as Gary said, as being a Spurs fan, I think there's a meme. It's a cycle. You start to believe, and then they let you down. And then you start to believe, and then you let you down. But as Roy said, nothing really excuses that performance on Thursday night. I think that was worse than the Arsenal game. I felt more pain in that Europa League game than that Arsenal game because it's a derby. You can lose those kind of games. Form goes out the window in a derby, and it was 2-1. That can sometimes happen. We got a shocking record at the Emirates, but going into that Europa League game and losing 3-0. To the lowest ranked UEFA coefficient team in the Europa League. That's embarrassing. And that was quite frankly a disgrace. But that's in the past. Let's put that behind us. No negativity. You can't change what's in the past, but you can change what's in the future. And we've obviously got the cup final. We've beaten City before, so why can't we do it again? We've probably got more of a chance of beating them when they're in good form, because that form has to come to an end. And the one team who City don't want to face is us, because they've got an absolutely shocking record against us in recent years, regardless of the 3-0 away at the Etihad. We've done them in so many times in recent years. Champions League, even in the Premier League, we've done them in 2-0 a couple of times. But top 4, as Roy said on the Super Chat, it's going to be tough, I think. Chelsea, obviously, sitting in 4th, and they literally haven't lost the game under Tuchel. They're not conceding hardly any goals. So for us to get top 4, we have to do better than them, which is going to be tough. But I looked at the fixtures. Chelsea's last 5 games are very dodgy. They're very dodgy. They're quite hard. And we haven't got that too many hard games. I think we've got Leicester, we've got United, we've got some other hard games around the lower end of the table where they're going to be fighting for survival, which is going to be tough because it's not only always the top teams that you want to be watching out for. It's also the sides that want to stay in the Premier League. Yeah. But about redemption, I don't think anything is going to make me feel better after that game on Thursday. All I want to see is Tottenham playing with passion. I don't really care. I just want to see them. I just want to see them actually turn up on the pitch and start playing properly. Because what we saw on Thursday was just, I don't even have words for that, honestly.
Yeah, it was shocking Thursday.
It really was. Richard, we will get back to tonight's game in a minute, but because it's your first time on the channel, I just wanted to know your thoughts on the season, so far. What are your thoughts on Jose Mourinho? Are you believing that Jose will deliver trophies for us soon?
I'm not a massive Jose fan, and I've spoke about this a lot. Again, from an elite athlete point of view, from somebody that looks to that motivation, that aspiration from a leader. I hate when people in power belittle players or professionals. I think it doesn't help at all. It's like you look at the confidence of people like Dyer, Sanchez, Alli. You can list the players that he's criticised and they've literally gone down the shitter. Don't do that. Put your arm around them, support them. They are going to be like Dele. Obviously, he chose to keep Dele, and I'm a massive Dele Alli fan. I think but he needs to work harder. He needs to encourage him. He needs to motivate him. He needs to tell him how good he is. Get that show reel from seasons previous and show him how good he is. Jose, for me, I think there's just something. He's a short fix for us. And it's about winning trophies, obviously. We need to win trophies. But is it the right way to go? Season-wise, obviously in the pandemic, a lot of us have been able to see a lot more football, a lot more Spurs. And I normally train or compete on a Saturday, Sunday. So when I get down to London to watch the games, it's something that I really cherish. And probably 4 or 5 times a year. So at the moment, I'm getting to see all the games either live or pre-record, and it's, to be honest, I think we had a false position when we were top of the league. We played a lot of Bob average teams, and we'd done really well first half against West Ham. Second half terrible, and that's probably our season. That we can be electric, we can be on the front foot, we can press, we can have a lot of kind of exciting players on the pitch, and then we can give away silly goals. I just get really really nervous when the ball comes into our box every time.
Every Spurs fan does.
Every time, because I don't, and that's for me. I think there needs to be serious like personnel changes in the summer, and even down to Hugo as well. I'm a massive Hugo fan, but I think it's about time for a change. I think as a captain and as leader, you need to be on your game, and it's about not just talking the talk, it's also walking the walk. Great shot stopper, but makes far too many mistakes and isn't confident at the moment.
Yeah.
Richard, I want to stay with you on your points about Jose Mourinho. Obviously, this past week has been a dreadful week for Tottenham and him and all of us fans. He divides the opinion of the fan base.
Yeah.
Do you think that the board will make a decision in the summer if we don't get that Champions League place?
Yeah, I think so. But also, even if we win a trophy this year, they still might make that decision. Obviously, you think about the financial clout that getting in the Champions League gives, but also, if you're not in the Champions League, is that going to affect the future of places, people like Harry, Sonny? Yeah, are those players going to commit long term? We need to build. We need to build on these players. We need to have that spine of the team. And Jose needs to be part of that if he's in the long-term plans of the team. But for me, I am a massive Pochettino fan, and
we all are.
I've always.
All Tottenham fans are.
Yeah, lucky enough to meet him a couple of times, and for me, he showed his passion. He showed Jose tells you he's passionate, and that's the difference. I'm quite good at reading people. Communication's quite a big thing about the reason why I've been so successful. And for me, Jose just doesn't. He's still. I think he's still a Chelsea fan to heart. I think he is. I think, and as a Spurs fan, that hurts him being our manager, still being a massive Chelsea fan.
Try being married to one.
At least it's not.
I bet that's interesting. Yeah, I know exactly.
You mentioned Madrid. I was going to Madrid for Champions League final, but I had to pay for a wedding. But I think you might have done me a favour in the end.
Yeah, I did.
I went and watched it at the stadium on the screens instead. But I think it was probably a wise move.
Well, Gary, talk to me about that. How on earth are you married to a Chelsea fan? How did that come about?
Oh, sorry, you broke up there. Say again.
I said, how on earth did that come about? Married to a Chelsea fan? Yeah,
it's not the best, I'll be honest with you. She makes a great dinner. She does make a great dinner. To be honest, she's a Chelsea fan, but she always supports Tottenham when they're playing. Just when we play each other, one of us has to leave the house because we can't both be in the house together. So, and when we obviously put them out the Carabao, I had to kind of silently celebrate and hold it in. Otherwise, I would have just been eating probably, I don't know, ham sandwiches.
Sleeping on the sofa.
Yeah, and sleeping on. I think I did sleep on the sofa that night, but it was worth
it. Gary, Harry Kane scored Tottenham's second goal tonight in the 68th minute from the penalty spot. Of course, he won the penalty. What did you make of that penalty incident? And what more can us Tottenham fans say about Harry Kane? Because that is now 30 Premier League goal involvements for Harry Kane this season.
Harry Kane, I love it. Listen, as soon as that ball came in, you know exactly what he's going to do. You know when he does that back into a defender from the inside, midfield or what have you. As soon as he played that, but it was a penalty because the player made contact. But that's what I want to see. When I saw that, I was just saying, why didn't he do that in the Europa? Why didn't you know what I mean? It was absolutely perfect. It was a penalty all day long, but as we well know, it was a clever penalty. He played for it, but that made the difference. That just killed the game. And at 2-0, I know I shouldn't relax, but I did kind of slightly think we got this. Because let's be honest about it. I mean, Villa didn't really attack us that much. There wasn't much from Villa, if I'm honest with you,
No.
I'm trying to think. I think they had one or two chances, but overall, it was quite a comfortable game, but you'll never relax when you watch Tottenham.
Harry Kane's player of the year for me. Harry Kane,
brilliant. Brilliant.
Outside the top 4, best player by a mile. He's added not only work rate, not only amazing passing distance, accuracy.
Yeah, he's got everything.
He is. I hear a lot from my friends about, obviously, the Bayern Munich forward that people love a lot. I say, look, Kane is better, I think, than Lewandowski. I think he's a lot. Obviously, the Dutch league, it's not the same as the Premier League. Kane has everything, and he proves it week on week. The only thing for me is we need to protect him more, because as he's getting older, he's starting to pick up those niggles. Well, obviously, people are kind of getting really tight to him, so we just need to protect him.
Yeah.
Ricky, do you think Jose Mourinho should take credit for Harry Kane, so far this season? Because, of course, we saw in the Amazon documentary, he said to Harry Kane that he could make him into a Messi or Ronaldo-esque, and we have seen that this season. He's been absolutely superb.
It could make him into a messy mess, I think, more than anything else. I'm getting hammered with the Jose questions today, aren't I? I think again it's that tough love with Jose, and I think Harry's kind of took it on himself, that mantle as leader, and he shows that. Now other players in the team need to embody Harry Kane's work ethic, for one. And then also what Harry Kane does off the pitch as well, which must be amazing. I've heard some great things from people inside of Spurs. My nutritionist actually used to work at Spurs, and she says that him, Sonny, amazing trainers, amazing work rate. So Jose, I don't think so. I think he's always had that. He's just developing, isn't he? Harry's developing into this all-round player that every team in the world would love, and he would get into any team in the world, I believe.
Josh, let's come back to you. What more can us Spurs fans say about Harry Kane? Because 30 goal involvements in the Premier League so far, simply incredible, isn't he?
Yeah, he's unbelievable, and I think Jose has added quite a lot to his game. As we've said before, that thing he said in the documentary about, if you join me, I'll make you explode. Harry Kane's never got this many assists in a season before. We haven't seen this type of positional play where he drops deep, wingers go down the side, and he plays long balls in behind and gets these assists. He's exploded. All the Man United fans last year, there was a question from another YouTuber, Mark Goldbridge. He said, "I think Martial's more of a complete striker than Harry Kane." Don't be ridiculous. I think Harry Kane's actually he's seen that tweet and taken it personally, because he's literally just become the most complete striker in the world, best player in the world, in my opinion, at the moment. With obviously the Messi and Ronaldo era coming to a close very, very soon. But I'm worried. I am worried because I read today David Ornstein. I don't know if you've seen it in the Athletic. Quite a reliable source has said that Harry wants out of Tottenham, which I can't. It made me feel really depressed earlier on before the game.
We will come on to that, Josh, about Harry Kane and possible trophies or leaving in the summer. We will come on to that shortly. Nice to see Pierre-Emile Højbjerg back today, though, Josh, wasn't it? Because, of course, we really missed him on Thursday night.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Højbjerg, when he plays well, he adds so much to our side. He's a lovely player, a great defensive player to have in midfield. He's going to have your back covered, especially for like Ndombele, who wants to go forward more. But I thought in the first half, Højbjerg had a bit of a sticky performance. I thought he didn't look like himself. He looked a bit leggy, even though he'd been rested. But second half, he started to show his quality. He was getting stuck in, winning balls up the pitch. And when we start tackling and winning balls high up the pitch, we just look so much better. It's so nice to see us nicking balls and then going forward instead of like sitting off the ball, letting Villa today kind of pass around us a bit, which I thought we were doing in the first half. But yeah, Højbjerg back was huge, and also Gio Lo Celso I thought added a bit. I thought he was a bit nice to have in midfield, nice touches, couple of cute passes. A lot of people don't like him, but I think he does add quite a lot to our side. I think he's quite a good football player myself, although he gets injured a lot. Lo Celso. But I think it's good to have him back because in the documentary as well, he said to Jose, I'll give everything for Spurs. He's a passionate lad. He's Argentinian. You know what you get with Argentinians like Lamela. He'll give 100%. And that's like I said earlier, I just want to see some players that give 100%. I don't want to see players that don't give 100% ever again in a Tottenham shirt because they're just wasting our time as fans. And I'm sure those players know who they are in the past couple of games.
Richard, who was your man of the match tonight? Because for me, I would probably give it to Lucas Moura. And, he doesn't stop running and even defending corners. For someone who is not that tall, he's nowhere near the tallest man on the pitch, and in enough wins some headers and clears a lot of corners and does a lot of defending for Tottenham, and of course creating goals as well. And this past month or so, I think that his game has really been on the up. And what are your thoughts on Lucas Moura?
And again, that's the momentum, having the games, having the game time, understanding the positions he needs to get in. I think Lucas is great in the air. He's obviously shown that in previous games in both ends of the field. Myself again, massive Lucas fan, and I would have given Moura the man of the match today. I feel he gives that energy. Also, he puts us on the front foot. The first 5 minutes of game, you need to be into the opposition. Today, we were so weak in that first half, and to think their best two ball players weren't actually on the pitch. Barkley, Grealish, and we had all that room in the midfield, and we just didn't utilise it. And then I think we got them in at half time. Really talked about kind of what they weren't doing, and then moved the team slightly further forward up the pitch. And those pockets that the Villa players were getting into, we were starting to get, like you say, Hallberg was getting in there and then pressuring the ball, which is his game. His game is to be the naughty schoolboy in the middle of the pitch, kind of pushing, getting his foot in, kind of really being that energy in the centre of midfield. And he did that. I think he was great in the second half. First half, like you said, Josh, very weak. I just think he was probably because he didn't play midweek. He didn't have that match fitness, and you definitely lose that if you're not having game after game. Lucas is having that now, and hopefully we can get back to some of his earlier Tottenham career stats when he was obviously banging in the goals. Lucas needs to score just like obviously Stevie does as well.
God, yeah. I'm praying for a goal from Stevie, but it just isn't coming, is it?
No, it's not. On that
he needs to go out on that.
That's a great point, Richard, about Steven Bergwijn, because for confidence levels, he really does need that goal, doesn't he?
Goal.
Yeah.
He needs to go out on loan.
If we're 4 or 5 up and we have a penalty, just give him the penalty.
Give it to Bergwijn.
Give it to and time to smash it. That's it. It definitely needs a goal. You look at forward players, and he's somebody that came to the team with the eye for a goal. Obviously, came into the team, scored. I was thinking, we have got a cracker here.
Yeah, great
and that's
goal
it.
On his debut against City, wasn't it? It was amazing, wasn't it? Absolutely
and that's
amazing
it.
goal. But yeah.
But you can see it in his face. Look at his face when he comes on. Pressure. You see his shoulders tight.
Yeah.
He needs to be relaxed. I'm sure he scores a couple of goals, takes a couple of people on.
He'll be flying.
Yeah, he will score game after game after game.
He's got the pace and the skill. He's got a lot of pace, and he's stocky. He's got some size and muscle behind him. So
and also he's not hitting the ball.
Yeah, no, he scuffs it.
Yeah, he's not hitting it true on his laces. Come on, get one in the back of the net.
The issue is that when any Premier League team buys a player from the Dutch league, there's always an issue. Fitness, they're not adapted to the Premier League. I swear, literally every Janssen for one. Ziyech at Chelsea has struggled, although he got a goal today. Van der Beek at Man United literally has done nothing. Every time a Dutch player, and then Bergwijn, obviously, every time a Dutch player comes, they struggle because the Dutch league is like 2 teams. It's like Feyenoord, Ajax, and PSV. That's it. There's no intensity. There's no physical play compared to the Premier League. But as you said, Bergwijn has got some good attributes. He's strong. He's got pace and power. But I think he needs to go on loan. I think he needs to be shipped out on loan to get some confidence, start every game, get some goals behind it. A bit like Sessegnon. He's not doing badly in Germany. And he's obviously got a lot of confidence, getting lots of games for Hoffenheim, I think he's at. But I think Bergwijn needs to go on loan to get that.
I think you said a good point about all the Dutch players, but it seems like all the Argentinian players are made of glass.
Yeah.
Because Lo Celso was injured, and then apparently he was fit, and then he had a bad back afterwards.
Oh.
What's going on? I just don't know what happened to them.
It's great to see him back though, Gary, isn't it?
Yeah, he was great today. Listen, I really like Lo Celso. I think he's got, good ability on the ball and stuff. And he finds little pockets. He can be a bit rash sometimes. I think there was a point. I think it was when Largizi, he had that chance, didn't he? I think Lo Celso gave the ball away, and they had a chance, West Ham, and that was Lo Celso's mistake. But he tends to get booked a lot, but he goes for it, and I like him on the ball. I think he's good. He seems to have a bit more energy and stuff than Ndombele, and it's not difficult, let's be honest, But I like both of them, but I think Lo Celso just edges it a little bit for me, But he can be a little bit go in there and get booked and stuff, you know what I mean? But yeah, I like him. I think he's good.
He's got that eye for a pass, I think, and also he kind of he makes a difference in between the lines. And, I like how he plays. Again, he's somebody that needs more game time and needs to work. I think that midfield at the moment, Jose isn't really not sure about the combinations, the best combinations to play, and whether he gets another season, we'll see, right?
Yeah.
Richard, talking about combinations and the amount of different combinations we've had defensively so far this season. And of course, tonight, Jose Mourinho swapped it around again. Tanganga, Sanchez, Rodon and Reguilon. Now, if I was to ask you, what do you think Tottenham's back four is?
Jeez. Oh my goodness! And the thing is, there's so many combinations, and there's so many reasons why you wouldn't put that player in the team. That's the problem. And he went for energy. He went for youth today. That's what he went for: energy, youth, and he went. I'm throwing these guys in. And passion. That's right. Exactly. Reguilon, obviously, brilliant player. Today was I don't know what was wrong with him today. He kind of he was. Shall I go? Shall I stay? Shall I go? And normally he just bombs on. Tanganga really played well today. I think he had a game that I think sometimes I feel when he plays, he's having to prove that he's good enough to play for the team, and I think he is. I think he's a great player.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to see the players coming through the academy, and obviously we had 2 academy players on the bench today. Like you say, Josh, I think it would be great to see him on the pitch at some point, and Jose needs to invest in the youth, especially if we aren't going to get top 4. It's time to throw those younger players in.
Josh, why do you think it's been so long that we've seen the likes of Tanganga and Joe Rodon come in? Because I feel like Jose Mourinho's had to be forced into this change, because of so many defensive errors, and particularly after the comments that he's given this last week about players going missing last week, and of course, some of the player ratings that some of the players received after last Thursday was absolutely awful.
Yeah, well, deservedly so, to be quite honest. We've been a shambles at the back pretty much all season, and even if the most ironic thing is that what's the first thing that Jose does when he comes to a club? He sorts out your defence. He hasn't done that to us. He hasn't done that for us. And if you cast your mind back all the way back to Jose's first couple of games, West Ham, we were 3-0 up, and what happens? 2-0, two goals in from West Ham in the last 5 minutes. Yeah. That's a bit of a reminiscent. That's like reminiscing what's happened this season, like in the West Ham game. Happened against Bournemouth at home as well. We conceded 2. Yeah. It kept happening, and our defence has been a bit neglected, I think. Apart from the signing of Reguilon, it's been neglected since we lost Vertonghen. We lost even going back to when we lost Kyle Walker. And Danny Rose just kind of fading away. Although Reguilon's coming on, I'm so happy with Reguilon. It's such a shame he's got injured today, because I think
a bad injury. Do we know
ankle.
How long he's going to be out for or anything? Or
no news as yet.
No idea. But he's been a great addition. Although he hasn't played all the games, I think Reguilon. I love Reggie. I think he's young. He's hungry. He's got loads of pace.
Quick. So fast,
I know.
isn't he?
He's brilliant, and people say, I swear, every top 6 side says, "Oh, our left back's the best in the league." Like if you're Arsenal, it's Tierney. If you're Man United, it's Luke Shaw. But I think Reguilon's up there. I think he's brilliant. I think he's very underrated. But in terms of forcing changes, obviously Alderweireld was ill today. I'm not sure if he's got coronavirus. Same with Aurier is out injured. That's why Tanganga came in. But I thought they did a better job. Those boys that came in today did a better job than them, and especially Joe Rodon. He hasn't got much game time, but today he looked solid. And he played in that game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and I thought he looked all right in that as well. So get him in there.
Yeah.
Get him in there. I want to see more of Joey Rodon. He's a young boy. Was he like 22, 23? He just needs game time. And I heard a lot about him at Swansea. I know they're in the Championship, but apparently people call him best defender in the Championship, cracking defender. He plays for Wales. Get him in there and play. And he was good with Sanchez today. And I thought Sanchez, especially in recent weeks, Sanchez gets slated by every Tottenham fan. He makes so many mistakes, but he's starting to look a bit
he
like...
He weren't bad today, though.
Yeah.
He was all right today, actually, wasn't he?
What's going on with Sanchez? He's improving.
I don't know. His touch was a bit dodgy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think the good thing about Rodon is he does all the simple things really well. You watch, sees out the ball. He makes no kind of
rash decisions
at all. No rash decisions. Great in the air. Positionally getting better. I think that was one of the things that Jose was having to work with him a lot on his positional play. I think he was getting caught out. He's got some pace and energy, and I think he'll do really well. Like you say, I think him and Sanchez together might be a good combination that they take forwards at least until the end of the season.
I think for me, what worries me when I look at Sanchez, he always looks nervous. I don't know if that's just his expression. But
confidence,
he
no
doesn't
confidence,
look confident, does he, in defence?
No.
You know, it was almost like Tanganga was helping out Sanchez tonight, which shouldn't really be happening. But I mean, he didn't have a terrible game, Sanchez. So I'm not going to drill him. I thought he was quite good, but I think he's still lacking a lot of confidence, and his facial expressions and stuff. You know, in comparison to like Rodon and Tanganga and all that, they look confident. And I thought when Ben Davies came on, I thought he looked confident as well.
Yeah. What was going on there?
Nervous, you know,
going forward as well.
Yeah.
But we've also got to think these lads kept a clean sheet today.
Yes.
We actually kept a clean sheet, and they're not the first team centre backs, are they?
And we are going Wembley.
Another big positive as well.
Yeah.
Richard, let's come round to you. Obviously, getting the 3 points today. You know, we're now going into the international break. This will give the players and Jose Mourinho, you know, regardless of the week that we've had, this will now give the players huge confidence that we can achieve that top 4 spot. You know, a huge win, as I say. But how are you feeling as a Tottenham fan about that top 4? Can we reach top 4? Can we get a Europa League place? Because, of course, you know, when you look at the training facilities, you look at the world-class manager that you've got, you look at some of the world-class players, Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, we'll come on to them about signing new contracts shortly. You know, and you look at the world-class stadium we've got, we need European football for next year, don't we?
Yeah, of course we do. And you obviously look at the next game as well, going to Newcastle. And I think we can build that confidence going into the cup final. And then, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything crossed, we do really well, we win, and then we take that momentum forward. We can, if we do that, then go on a winning run. I think Man City, obviously, they've had all their wins. It's going to come to an end, and I think we're gonna end that cup final. I think they'll win all the games up to the cup final, then we'll end that, and then we'll go on our mini run. Confidence is starting to build. I think, as you can see from today, you can see certain players thinking, right, I'm in the team now. I'm not going to get kicked out of the team and somebody else kind of come in. I believe, like a lot of Spurs fans, that our season has been like Bale coming in. The expectation was that we're going to, especially when we're the top of the league, we're going to win the league. And I think that was a little bit apprehensious, to be honest. I don't think.
I've got to be honest. I never thought we'd win the league. I have to be honest.
No, good. Because
at one point,
I was hoping that we'd be challenging up there with Man City, but then you look at the kind of games that we had from then, and we couldn't string a couple of results together after being top of the league. So we can still get Champions League for sure, but we need to go on a run. This needs to be the start of the run, and I think the players are gonna feel the pressure come off the shoulders, because now we're in for the fight. Where if we'd have lost today, it would just been like between 6th and 9th.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
And
Gary, how are you feeling about this, the push for top 4? Because of course we've now got 9 Premier League games left, but this international break is probably come at the perfect time, because it gives us a bit of breathing space. Jose can work with a number of players on the training pitch as well. I know a number of players will go off to international duty, but
Sonny.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as Richard said, Newcastle up next, Newcastle away. Surely we have to go into that game believing that we're going to win that one.
Listen, look, I think Newcastle are going down. I'm sorry, but I think that they're gone. I think it's possible we can get top 4. It is possible, but like we've said, with Tottenham, you get your hopes up. We won 5 in a row. You get your hopes up, but then look at the last couple of weeks. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. We've got the 3 points, right? It wasn't the best looking game in the world. He changed the team around a lot. Bearing in mind, we didn't have Sergio Aurier or Toby Alderweireld, and I think Toby Alderweireld is probably one of our best, and he wasn't in that team today. Obviously, you said he was ill, but we still kept the clean sheet. We've still got the 3 points, and like you said, we're right up there. So, stranger things can happen. I think it is possible, and I think the break has come at the right time. I think maybe we can get top 4. I know for certain we're going to win the Carabao Cup. That I have no doubt.
I hope so.
Right.
I hold you to that, Gary. I hold you to
certain.
that. Do you know one thing as well from today that I think Jose would take, that Vinicius and Kane can play up front together?
Yeah.
In that second half, I think that will be, now he's got a plan B.
He can work with that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think the last 5 games, I think Jose, it was like didn't have a plan A, never plan B.
Was that Vinicius' first start in the Premier League game, or?
I think it was, wasn't it?
Second.
Yeah.
His second start, yeah, because you never really feel like he starts a game, really, do you? Just so like what you said, if he starts him in the Newcastle game, if you're on with Kane, then who knows,
He's going to score. He's going to score. The ball comes into the box. He's going to score. He's a predator.
Go and sign him. We need to sign him.
Yeah.
I think we should. I mean, I don't know where they stand on it. I don't know if they're going to offer what they want. I think Daniel Levy's going to want to cut a deal. And I think Vinicius is a goal poacher. I don't think you're going to see him dribbling outside the box.
No, definitely not. No, definitely not.
He's a tall guy. Cross him in, like with Reguilon, hopefully he comes back, he's crossing them in. Aurier can do a good cross once every other game, there's no reason he can't get on to a few of those. And I think them 2 up front, Son comes back, we're going to get top 4. We're going to do it.
Top's a good game.
Josh, how are you feeling about it? Because it would be so Jose Mourinho, wouldn't it, to get Tottenham over that line and get us in the Champions League and win the Carabao Cup? Or am I just being absolutely ridiculous and dreaming?
No, I don't think you're being ridiculous at all. I think it's a tough one. You know what it's like being a Spurs fan. We'll probably go and lose a game in a couple of weeks, just as we start getting to believe. But there's no reason you shouldn't believe.
No.
I think those players, they've got it in them. It's up to them. It's up to them. Like they put in a decent performance today, but they were absolutely shambles against Arsenal. So it can change that much in a week. That's how much it can change in a week. But as I said, it's up to the players. It's not. I don't agree with all this stuff to do with Jose saying, "Oh, it's all Jose's fault." This last week, it's Jose out. All this. That's rubbish. That's just. It's an agenda. It's an agenda from people who don't like Jose and have never liked Jose because of his past. And I don't care about Jose's past. I care about Tottenham and the club. I backed Poch and I'll back Mourinho because he's our manager. And I want him to do well. And I just want, as you, Chris, just want Tottenham to win a trophy and do as best as they can. And if we need European football for Harry to stay and we deserve European football, then we need to get it. But at the end of the day, it's up to the players on the pitch to go get the results. Nothing else. Doesn't matter about Jose or the board. It matters about the players that we've got, and they've got to go and get as many 3 points as possible. I think how many games are there now? 9 games? 9 games are there?
9 Premier League games and
27 points. 27 points up for grabs, and we're 3 points off top 4. Well, come on. It's possible. It's not like we're 10 points off. It's very possible, but anything can happen. I wouldn't say it's certain. But the Carabao Cup, I've got a weird feeling for that, like Gary said, and Richard and Chris. I think we've all got a little weird feeling.
You know why? I think we are Man City's bogey team to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I wanted Man City. I didn't want Man United. I wanted Man City.
Oh yeah.
I do think VAR generally tends to go on our side when we play Man City. It does, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
You look at obviously the obvious one, but the league games as well. It has kind of gone in our favour. Do you know what I mean? Quite a few times. So a little bit of luck, a bit of VAR.
Can't pray
the
for that.
players turn up. There's no reason why we can't win that one-off game.
Yeah, exactly.
We can win it, 100%.
Richard, how are you feeling about the League Cup final against Manchester City?
I thought you were going to talk about Jose again then. Yes, I'm like Gary. I feel that we can win that game as long as we don't park the bus. Please don't park the bus and have let's just have one chance and then sit behind. I think against City you can't play them at their game, but you need to look at their weaknesses, and you need to obviously centre backs. They work really hard, but they're not as mobile as a lot of centre backs in the league. I feel that we can beat them. We've already beat them, obviously at our place 2-0. I think we need to press them high. We need to get some confidence first, though. It's about, like I say, confidence with the with the results, confidence with the team. Go into the game on the front foot. We cannot defend for 90 minutes and hopefully have a breakaway goal.
No,
I don't think we
not.
can do. I don't think we can do that at Wembley. And I believe that we've got a great chance of winning a trophy this year. I'm in the back of my mind. I'm still thinking that maybe Harry. It might be his last season at Spurs, and that's really disappointing for me. It's obviously been a great servant, but obviously if he's looking for those Champions League trophies, etc., well, is he going to get it at Spurs? Hopefully we're back in the Champions League, but are we going to win it? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
and that's me being that's me being
very
honest.
next subject I was going to come on to, Richard. What does keep Harry Kane at Tottenham? Because if he wins if he wins the League Cup with Spurs this season, does he get to the end of the season saying, "Well, I've won a trophy at Tottenham now; it's time to leave"? Or
do you know what I always think? To keep Harry Kane, we need better players. We need players that are going to better the team. That's what I've always thought, and that's why I think Bale came to the club. Levy was like, right, we're going to get Bale in. He's going to then elevate Harry's game. Harry's done it himself. But the problem is, we need to have other players around him. Like you've said, Josh, before, we need to spend big at the back. We need to have an experienced centre back, another experienced centre back, and then we need to have some young talent coming in, and we need to really invest to keep these players. For Sonny to sign his contract, for Harry to stay, to Reguilon to stay, we need to have better players coming to the club this September.
Yeah.
it's easier said than done, though, Richard, isn't it?
yeah.
Well, he needs to put his hand in his pocket, doesn't he? It's a bit tight with his money. I said he needs to put his hand in his pocket. I've met Daniel a couple of times, and he's a small guy with a massive wallet, so he needs to get it out.
I'm glad you said wallet there. I was getting a bit worried. I think the thing with Kane is you can look at it another way. You can look at it if we win the Carabao Cup and let's say we make top four, we don't make top four. He might look at you got to think about off the pitch as well. His family, his kids. He's settled where he is. He might want to beat Jimmy Greaves' record. He might want to stay at the club, and he might say, do you know what? I don't want to go Man City or go abroad and go somewhere easy to win a cup. I want to stay at Tottenham and I want to win a cup, and it's going to be a lot harder and a lot more challenging. And he might say, for those reasons, I'm going to say that because is it really an achievement if he went to Man City or a big club and won a cup? I don't think it's an achievement.
I think he'd go abroad anyway. I think he'd go Barcelona, Madrid, or PSG, or Juventus.
Would that be as impressive as winning like the Champions League or the Europa League with Tottenham? I think if we got the Carabao, and whether we got a top four or not, I think it would probably be enough to keep him. I think he's settled. I think we all think, he wants trophies, but we don't really know what he wants.
I think that's true.
Sure.
We all want trophies, and Harry Kane certainly wants trophies. And when you think about 13 years without trophies, it's crazy, isn't it? It really is. 13 years without trophies.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I can't, I can remember back, as a kid, we used to always win the FA Cup. It was like, at one point we had the record, we won it 8 times and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what's happened. I think, you could blame a lot of things, but you need a lot of luck as well. A little bit of luck changes the game. I mean, I won't dwell on the Europa game, but even right near the end there, we could have nicked one at the end with Kane. It was a worldie save, wasn't it? It's just, it's very small margins that makes the difference.
Definitely.
Very, very small margins. But it is crazy we've gone so long without winning the Cup. But listen, we're winning the Carabao Cup on April the 25th. That's a certain. I know we are. Whether we get top 4 or not, I'm kind of 50-50 with it. But like you said, if we come back after the break, We beat Newcastle. We move on from there. There's no. I mean, how many points have we got to get? Is there 27 points? Is it or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know,
we need
27
20 of
up the
those,
grab, yeah.
really. We need 20 of
we
those.
could
I'd
get
say.
24, 25 points. Do you think?
I think that's that.
20.
Maybe.
You see, we
20,
beat
I'd say.
Aston Villa 2-0 tonight, and the confidence level is just quite high.
It goes up and down.
There's
Josh,
no
let's come to
reason.
you.
I mean, you know, we thought Woolwich was dead and buried earlier, didn't we? And they came back, you know, from 3 down, 2 own goals. It was an absolute nightmare. I mean, I don't know how you guys felt with that. I mean, regardless of what the table say, I want Woolwich to lose every game. But I think the fans saying a draw is the best result for us. But I just hate Woolwich. I want them to lose every game. But that's a perfect example. They're not playing great football, and they came back to 3-3. So anything can happen this season. This season is absolutely bonkers, isn't it? I mean, look at Liverpool. It's just an absolute joke, really. How many they've lost at home in a row? It's crazy, isn't it?
It's silly.
Yeah, anything can happen. Josh, let's come to you. Gareth Bale obviously back on the bench tonight. You know, earlier on in the season, you know, we were all very excited about Gareth Bale coming back to Hotspur Way. When he drove in there, we were all absolutely ecstatic. And then it didn't quite work out for him. But, you know, in the past couple of months, he's been in fine form. We all think that we've got the Gareth Bale back, and now he's back on the bench. What do you think the future holds for Gareth Bale at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club? Do you think that he will be a Spurs player next season?
I think that's up to Jose or whoever the manager is at the end of the season, and Levy. It's a sticky one, isn't it? It's a bit strange he didn't play today, because I don't think he did particularly badly on Thursday, and he got taken off, didn't he, in the North London derby. But I'd like to see Bale. I think it'd be a travesty if Bale isn't at the club when there's fans in the stadium. I think we think with the heart sometimes, though, don't we? Because we all think what it was like when on his first spell. Yeah. And if you think with your head and the amount of money that it's obviously costing the club to have a player like him, a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, and having somebody else into the club that would add value to the team would maybe be a better reason to let Bale go back. I'm a massive Bale fan. I'd like to see him be successful, but like I said before, he's only playing well at home. Because away he's not able to do the trekking back and the work that he needs to do.
He's not got that pace anymore, has he? He's lost his pace. But you know, Bale just needs one moment, doesn't he?
Yeah. Look, we've got a cup final and Gareth Bale. Anything can happen.
He's done enough, though, Josh, to get another year at Spurs. Do you think he's done enough?
He's got quite a few goals. He has scored quite a few. He's gone under the radar a bit. He's got bits and bobs in the FA Cup, EFL Cup, even though we're out of those competitions. And the Europa League, he got quite a few. He's done a couple in the Premier League recently.
Winner against Brighton, was it? I think.
Yeah, he's done all right, Bale. It's not. He's got unlucky with injuries, hasn't he? It's a bit annoying, but he did look very, very good when we went on that little run with those 3 or 4 teams, and he started scoring. Like he's got 8 goal contributions in a couple of games. But as we were talking about Harry Kane, I think having Bale at the club, I think that helps to keep Kane. But going back onto the Harry Kane topic quickly. Although I did that reading with David Ornstein, he's an Arsenal fan anyway, so you might have to take it with a bit of pinch of salt. But I don't think, if you use your head, Levy isn't going to sell him for anything under 120, 130, 140 mil. That's not going to happen. People don't have that. The clubs just don't have that money. Even City, I don't think they've got that money because they need to sign Haaland. I mean, if you ask the City board, who are you going to sign? It'll be 28 then, Kane, a 28-year-old Harry Kane, or a 21-year-old Haaland, who's a complete monster, and he's much younger. He's going to be the more valuable option. For 75 million, I think. So I think Harry Kane, obviously, he's a Spurs boy, Spurs fan. I don't think he's going to leave us. I really hope he doesn't, because I think that would cost us a lot in terms of quality. I think it would break a lot of fans' hearts. For me, I couldn't actually bear it. I wouldn't want to see him in another English club shirt. I think that would really hurt. I wouldn't like that. I mean, I wouldn't at the end of his career in, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years' time, if he wants to go to PSG and Poch is still there, I'll go, you know what, go there and go and win some trophies because you've done everything you can at Spurs. Even if he wins some trophies here, I'd love to see Harry Kane lift that Carabao Cup. I'd love to see Harry Kane lift any trophy at Spurs because he deserves it so much. And we've said that before. Him, Sonny, all these players that have put in so much effort to this club in the recent 5, 6, 7 years. Honestly, they deserve it so much. So I hope he doesn't go because that would be awful. And then we need to.
He's not gone. He's not gone yet.
I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. But we're gonna if he goes, that means we have to rebuild, and that's just going to be really. It's just going to be like a cycle again because we tried that. We did that with Poch, and we didn't win anything. Like if Jose does get sacked, I've been reading a lot. If Jose gets sacked in the summer because we don't get top 4, Nagelsmann comes in from Leipzig. The guy's never won anything. If we can't win a title or anything with Pochettino, who's been our best manager in 50 years or something, really, he was a cracking manager, couldn't win anything under him, and then can't win anything under Jose Mourinho. But how are we going to win anything under Nagelsmann? Come on, it's just going to be the same cycle again. So I think we've got to keep Kane, we've got to keep Jose, keep positive, and then maybe we can actually move on a bit and get through this hard phase. Every club goes through a hard phase. Whether it be Arsenal, Man United, and you come out more positive. So I think we've just got to keep going.
I think the other thing with Kane was worth mentioning as well. It's not a nice thing to mention, but he is prone to injuries as well.
Yeah.
And I think they're quite recurrent. I think that will put off a lot of clubs with the price.
Oh yeah.
You see, so you've got to take that into account. And we don't want to see Harry Kane injured ever. Of course we don't. But that's going to be in the back of any club's mind. And like you said, I mean, there's prices thrown around 120 million, 150 million. But Daniel Levy, he's probably going to want 175 million for him.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
it's not
exactly.
going to make it an easy sell. So I think for that, fingers crossed, we may have him for another year or two. I hope.
Richard, as an elite athlete yourself, and you've won gold medals, winning trophies for the likes of Harry Kane, how important is it for someone like him? Because of course he's going for that goal scoring record, to overtake Jimmy Greaves as the Tottenham's all-time greatest goal scorer. But winning trophies at your club surely must be the ultimate thing. And when we speak time and time again about winning trophies at Spurs, 13 years without a trophy, it is far too long, isn't it? So what does the like Harry Kane and Heung-min Son at Tottenham?
Yeah, I think they are driven by trophies. You can clearly, when you listen to them speak, but they understand the collective responsibility in that. And to win a trophy, it's about everybody pulling together. And that's what's been very disappointing the last couple of weeks, is it's been very disjointed. We've got the quality at the club. We've got the ability to get in the top 4 year on year. We can win cups. But for some reason, the mentality has not been there. It just hasn't been there. But players like Harry Kane, when you hear him talk, he talks passionately about the club. So he's got the passion there. But he now wants the rewards for that as well. Yeah. So from my point of view, not as a Spurs fan, as an elite athlete, you look for that podium performance and how to get there. And he's looking, well, if I'm not going to get that with Spurs, how do I get those titles? So he might have to then take that sideward move to another club to do that. But I think the Jimmy Greaves record, that is definitely something that he's passionate about. Yeah. You can see when he talks about Jimmy, when he talks about his goal scoring, he loves scoring goals. He loves winning for the team. When the team lose, Harry loses, and I think that's something that might keep him at the club for longer term and for all of his career, depending on where the club goes. But I think a player like Harry Kane needs to see more direction from the top, and needs to see more investment. It needs to see more confidence in the manager if they're going to stick with him, and then that's when you'll get somebody like Harry put his arm around Sonny and say, just sign that contract because I'm going to be here for that time as well.
Yeah. I think you're totally right with the confidence as well. Our season was shattered with 2 games this year. Our season was killed with 2 games: West Ham at home and Liverpool away. West Ham game, the attacking football 3-0 up, and then we bottled it. That killed the attacking football. And as your mate Jason says, Chris, we went into a low block, and that killed about 10 games. We dropped so many points. And then the Liverpool away game, when we were top of the league, we went to Liverpool, lost to a last-minute winner, Jose played Sissoko at right wing. The whole team was messed up. That was a disaster. Those 2 games shattered the confidence of this club. If we had kept going normally and didn't bottle that West Ham game and didn't lose at Liverpool, I think we could have actually. I think there could have been a much different picture right now with Tottenham. It's a shame, but you can't change the past, as we said. No. We can only keep positive. There's literally no point being depressed because this is what happens every year with Spurs.
Like Chris said, we're not out of it. I mean, look, there's games where we kind of lost it there and we dropped points and stuff. But then if you look at Fulham, we got away with one there.
Exactly.
It swings it round. I think over the course of the season, you're always going to remember the Eric Dyer handball against Newcastle. Then people are going to stand out. But we've been quite fortunate in quite a few games as well. So I think overall at the moment, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, to me, I was more upset losing to Arsenal than going out of Europa. That's just personally me, because I knew we weren't winning Europa anyway. I was livid for days after losing to Arsenal. I just can't accept losing to them. That really hurt me, because I hadn't lost them in five or six games, so that annoyed me. But going to Liverpool and losing, I mean, it always happens. Yes, loads of teams have gone there and beat them now, which is great. But for us, what's our record like at Anfield? It's terrible. It's terrible. Same as the Emirates. It is what it is. But listen, tonight we got the 3 points. We got the win. There was a couple of nervy moments. I think there was one nervy moment when Lo Celso gave the ball away. But overall, 3 points, good win, clean sheet, happy days. Solid. We're going to get top 4, win the Carabao Cup.
How time to change.
Kev William writes on screen here, sick of pundits continually saying that Harry Kane has to leave.
Yeah.
Now, there have been so many pundits, so many even former Tottenham Hotspur players saying that Harry Kane needs to leave to win trophies. Do you think that Daniel Levy and the board will give Jose Mourinho vast amounts of money? And if he does, what will Jose Mourinho want next season? Are we challenging for the Premier League? Are we challenging for top 4? Or has Jose Mourinho been appointed just to be coming in and winning a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup just to put something in the cabinet?
So I totally agree. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of even going on Twitter. Every single Talk Sport Twitter post is Kane's leaving. Harry Kane. The most ridiculous one. It was yesterday. Was the silence from Harry Kane after the Europa League game shows that he's leaving. He posted something on Instagram like 25 minutes earlier, so like an apology to Spurs fans, and I was like, "What is this clickbait? Go away. Just leave us alone."
It wasn't as bad as what Joe Hart posted, was it?
Oh God, he had a mare there. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Apparently that wasn't him, but I mean, I don't think he's got any friends that could post that. But that was absolutely ridiculous. But listen, it's always the same with Harry Kane and Paul Merson every single time. He's not going to score under Mourinho. He's got to go into a different team. It's what you're going to get from pundits and stuff like that. Even watching the game tonight, Neville had nothing positive to say. I turned the commentary off.
He's crying because Man United. He's upset because Man United got knocked out the FA Cup and got absolutely destroyed by Leicester.
We know as Tottenham fans that no one is rooting for us. No one's got our back. And as soon as we slip up, it's the same old Tottenham Spurs. You hear it all the time. But that's fine. Let's just carry on as we're going. Let's turn the corner and let's go for top 4. Because another thing is there's less games now. We're not in the we go out. There's less games. We've got more chance. There's no reason why we can't rotate. We brought in a few new players today. We changed it around and it works. That's it. It's a positive, isn't it? It's a positive. Yeah.
And also, if you think about it, all the teams above us in the top 4 race are all in Europe. Yes. Chelsea have got Champions League games.
That's what I mean.
All of them have got European games. Like Arsenal have got to play these Europa League games. Man United have as well.
And do you know what? That's a good point you say, because I mean, when you think about the Carabao Cup final, I mean, how many competitions are Man City going to be in? Are they going to put out their strongest side in the Carabao Cup final? I don't know. Are they going to?
They take it very seriously, though, Gary.
I know.
A club like Manchester City, they win these trophies because Pep Guardiola does take them very, very seriously.
But do you think they'll take it seriously as the league in the Champions League?
I think they've got a Champions League game like after or something, literally a Champions League semi-final or something after.
They've got one a few days before, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that. So
that could be a big moment. You don't know if the players are going to get injured there or he's going to try and rotate and then players won't play in the Carabao. So I just got a good feeling about that, and I think it will work in our favour that Man City is going for all the trophies, and I think it's good that we're not now, and we're in the final already. Let's just take a moment and think. We are going to Wembley. We are 3 points off top 4, and we have kept the clean sheet, and we did play pretty good. And listen, Aston Villa's no easy feat, you know.
No.
It's not like going Sheffield United, you know, and Chelsea, I know it was an FA Cup game, but Chelsea struggled against Sheffield United today. So in regards to that game today with Tottenham, that was a good performance. I'm happy with it. You know, I'm pleased. I'm quietly confident.
Love
Chris.
Love the positivity. Last question for you all. Let's start with you, Josh. Where will Tottenham finish at the end of this season? And League Cup win or League Cup defeat?
We're winning the League Cup, and I hope we'll finish 4th. But I'll take Europa League just because it's been an up and down season. I mean, that's a minimum. I think we've got to get Europa League football. But quickly, as you said about money and investment, I didn't get around to answering your question. I think there was a post from one of the Spurs Twitter people. They said that there's this guy, this new CCO at Tottenham called Todd Klein, and he's sorting out a naming rights deal for our stadium, which is going to bring in the dollar, which is good to hear. Hopefully we'll get a bit of cash from that, because I did read that there isn't going to be any money. There's going to be no money because we've got obviously a huge amount of debt at Spurs at the moment because of the new stadium. Just for thinking logically and not emotionally, we haven't got any money, and the only money we're going to have is if we sell players. We'll have to rebuff the money that we've got from selling players to then re-inject into the squad. And I think a lot of players are going to go. And like Vinicius, give what they call Benfica. Give Benfica Dyer and get Vinicius for 10 mil or something. Just please get him in. But hopefully, you know, we all know what Levy's like. He can get some bargains. Hopefully he can work his magic.
Would you not throw Winks in with Dyer as well? Or?
Yeah.
Well, I won't get one free. Richard, I know you love a Jose Mourinho question. You know, Pochettino always got us Champions League football, and you know, Pochettino at the end of the day got sacked because the board felt that he couldn't reach top 4. Of course, Jose Mourinho scraped into the Europa League for this season, last season. You know, that 1-1 draw on the last day of the season against Crystal Palace. Now, if we don't win that League Cup final and we get a Europa League spot again, is that enough?
No, it's not good enough. No chance. No. And so I, like Gary and Josh, think that, and you, Chris, that we've got a really good chance against City in the final. I just think how we match up, it gives us the opportunity to win that game. League, I'm just 6th to 4th. I'm still thinking. If you said commit to a position, I'd probably say 5th.
Yeah.
And that would be because of where the other teams are, and I can't see Chelsea slipping up. And so 5th would be the best that we can get this year, I think. And also, you look at how we've played this year. If we look back at the season and evaluate it, I think 5th is a great position that we finish in. Not where we need to be, but that means we definitely need to win the cup to obviously get into the Champions League.
So if I asked you at the start of the season, Richard, for Spurs finishing 5th and winning a Carabao Cup, would you have been happy with that?
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. With the people that we got into the club, I would have said 2nd or 3rd. I think I would have gone City, Liverpool, and then us. I would have thought Liverpool would have still been strong, but obviously they've imploded, and it just shows. Doesn't it show that the situation we're at the moment with the pandemic, how crowds really have a massive impact on some of the teams that are up there, like West Ham. Their fans get on their backs. That's why they do shite. And then obviously some of the other teams that have done really well, like even Villa have done a lot better than expected because of their lack of home fans. And I think we sometimes say that at home our fans do get on the back of the team, but I think it's the other way. When I've ever been there, whether we've been winning or losing, the fans for me have been empowering. They've always kind of got behind the team, and whether we're losing 2 or 3-0 or winning 2 or 3-0, I feel it's always been a place that we want to win as a team. So, and I think we've missed that as well. And I think it was very similar to when we went to Wembley, And the first couple of games, the fans didn't really know how to embrace the team. And I remember back to when we were unbeaten at home under Pochettino. And I remember that season, I think I went to about 7 or 8 home games. And I just couldn't believe it. I literally went knowing we'd win. Like, it was unbelievable. The confidence, the energy, everybody was like... And that's what we need. We need, in this new stadium, when the fans come back, and I believe next season, a couple more players at the back, really invest in that defensive area, like Josh said, tie down some of these players that we need to, and maybe get a creative player at the top of the so-called diamond behind Harry Kane, and I think we could challenge for the Premier League again.
Gary, how are you feeling about the top 4 push? Can we reach top 4? What's your league prediction?
Well, like I said, start of the season, I right for when Mourinho came in, I thought, you know what, we're gonna win the Carabao Cup. That's a certain. We're gonna win the Carabao. My head is saying we're gonna finish 6th, which it has all season, but my heart is saying we can get top 4. But it's not going to be easy. But with a bit of luck and a few VAR decisions and stuff go our way.
25 points as well.
Yeah, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Yeah. So, yeah, the Cup definitely. But look, I think if we win the Carabao Cup, and even if we do finish 5th or 6th, I think we've got Mourinho next season back in, give him some money, ships out a few players, like you guys said, get a few new players in. And then I think, the following season, we will challenge for the league. If we don't get top 4 this season and obviously get into the Champions League, but in an ideal world, top 4 in the Carabao Cup.
if Jose's here next season, do you think he'll get rid of Dele?
I don't know if Daniel Levy will let him get rid of Dele, because I think Daniel Levy will only get rid of Dele when he's performing well to get a good price for him. I don't think he'd get what he wanted for Dele at the moment, and I think that's why I think he came in between that with Jose and said, no chance, we're not selling him. And I still think there's a good player in there with Dele. There's been glimpses of it when he's come back into the team. How old is he? 24 is Dele.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, something like. I'm not sure about Dele. I worry. I know, like everyone. I don't know if this is a controversial opinion. I love him. Yeah. I think he's a Spurs boy, and he's given us so many amazing memories. But people called Harry Kane a one-season wonder, and he's clearly not. But I worry that Dele is. Because that season where he scored like 20 goals in the Premier League or something, it was close to 20 goals. He just has never recreated that kind of form. It's just been downhill every season since then. And I worry for him. And I think, mate, I see him gone, to be honest. I can see him going to PSG to go and play for Poch. And I think he'll do well. I think he'll do well in the French league because it's full of farmers.
And
like
slow.
It's slow. He loves to touch on the ball. Dele, I want him to excel, but I'm not sure if... The game's evolved a lot, and as Gary, he said we've been unlucky. We haven't won trophies in 13 years. We haven't won trophies in 13 years. One, because obviously we haven't had the quality to, and two, all the other teams have invested hundreds of millions of pounds, and we haven't. We're not a Man City. We're not a Chelsea. We're not a Man United. You look at the net spends of all these teams compared to us; they're absolutely huge, and we just haven't done that.
No, exactly right, and that's why. If we do win, we will win the Carabao, and if we get top 4, I think with the players that we have at the moment, I think that's a massive achievement. Oh yeah, I really do. But we can build on it next season, and look, at the end of the day, I just touch on the Jose thing. I mean, I know there's so many people saying Jose out, but you get Jose out, who do you get in? You've still got the same players and tools to work with. Yeah. Who else to try and tidy up this team and get players out and get players in than Jose Mourinho? It's got to be him, surely.
We've said on this channel many times about the rebuild that Pochettino said, of course, that we need. And when you ask Tottenham fans about who would you get rid of in the summer, it's virtually the whole squad. But Højbjerg and Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. Now people want rid of our captain Hugo Lloris. The rebuild I think is huge, and it just worries me how much money that Jose Mourinho or indeed a future manager needs to make this club challenge for the Premier League, because me sitting here as a Tottenham fan, I want to see Tottenham be challenging for the Premier League, and it just seems like we're way off that, and it just worries me how far we are away from being real challengers. Gary, what do you think? How much money does Jose or a new manager need to be challenging for the league?
Well, you're talking a few hundred million, aren't you? I mean, unless Daniel Levy can do some great haggling with some of the dead wood we've got to get out, but that's what it's going to take, isn't it? I mean, look, I don't think we need to get rid of the whole team, but we know who needs to go. Look, you know, people they say, oh, Harry Winks, you know, he came up, you know, he's great, he's a Tottenham boy. I'm sorry, he's just not good enough for the club for me. Whenever I see Harry Winks on the ball, his sideward passes, backward passes, he just lacks the confidence to go for it. Sanchez, you know, I'm not that unhappy with Ben Davis. I don't mind Ben Davis. I think Toby Alderweireld's got another season in him, but it's got to be a couple of 100 million, hasn't it? And, you know, and I think next season we should make Højbjerg the captain. I think that needs to happen. Massive. Yeah. You can't have the goalkeeper as the captain. No. You know, people are saying giving it to Harry Kane, but I don't think it should be the striker either. I think Højbjerg should be that captain for next season. And I think that will make a massive difference because he is like the spine of the team for me. He's been amazing. Make him captain, and I think that in itself will lift the team. I really do, honestly. But to answer to your question, a couple of 100 million.
When you said earlier, Josh, about Steven Bergwijn, you'd send him out on loan, and you think that then Alli might leave as well. You know, these are all players that need replacing as well.
I know, but I do think it's the time has come. But you've also got to remember that we have got some players coming through the academy in the next couple of years. I remember saying to my dad and stuff when we walked out the stadium, the Wanda Metropolitano after that Champions League final, and it was silent. If you can remember, it was absolutely silent. And I said, we're never going to win a trophy until the next generation. And hopefully, I just hope that even if it's a painful rebuild, this next generation of lads, the Dane Scarlets, the Alfie Devines, these young boys, the Laveniers, the boys who've coming through, and I'm happy that Jose's integrated them a bit, the youth of Tottenham into the first team. Everyone slags him off, saying, "Oh, he hates youth." He's done a lot for Tottenham youth. A lot of these boys have come through, and I want to see them. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this next generation. But in the meantime, there's a huge rebuild.
I'll tell you what you remind me of as well is we've got Oliver Skipp and Sessegnon to come back.
Oh yeah, Skippy.
That is going to be absolutely massive for Tottenham next season.
Oh yeah,
that will be huge. I think honestly, them two kids are. I mean, you've seen Oliver Skipp. I mean, he's they want to keep him forever. It's not going to happen, but. He's been absolutely amazing. Sesso's been amazing. You bring all them back, and already you're changing the back of that team. You know, it's already looking a lot
Tanganga
more.
Coming through.
Tanganga, absolutely amazing.
We've got a lot of young players, which is good.
Yeah,
a lot of. I don't know if you. I was speaking to some friends saying if you look at the Premier League squads, you look at Liverpool. Their front four are all 30 or approaching 30. Yeah. Van Dijk and Gomez have both had literally nearly career-ending injuries.
Yeah.
They look burnt out. They've got a massive rebuild needed as well. It's not just us; it's a lot of other teams. We're going to see a lot of changing in the Premier League. Obviously, like some players are going to come in. I reckon Haaland's coming this summer. He's going to come in and probably go to City, and that's going to cause. Oh God, I don't even want to.
He's lethal. He is. Jesus.
Oh, there's going to be some big changes, I think, in the Premier League, and it's exciting. I think it's exciting, and Tottenham have got to get in there and really just try and use that opportunity to get trophies.
Age-wise, we've got a lot of youngsters, and I want to see Dane Scarlett get him on the pitch. Yeah. Give him a run out because when he came on in that Europa game, he got that ball. He was so quick, got the ball off the defender. Took it off him, bang. I know Vinicius nicked the goal off him, but he just went for it. And I think if you bring them sort of kids on, like the Tangangas and, Oliver Skipp comes back, they're the ones that are going to play for the badge and go for it. Do you know what I mean?
He'll definitely get his chance. He
has to.
Gary, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure, Chris. Listen, I've been watching you since day one. I absolutely love your show, and it's a real honour for me. So I'd love to come back on anytime you want me. If you will, I'll try and bribe you to get me back on. But I absolutely love it. And listen, I think for the first time in a while, it has been a positive one. And going forward, I think things are looking pretty good. But yeah, absolutely loved it tonight. I love talking Tottenham all day long. So
love your positivity. So thank you very much. Josh, thank you very much as always.
Cheers, Chris. Always love it. Great show.
And Richard, thank you very much indeed. Really enjoyed your input tonight.
Yeah, cheers, mate. And I think I'm going to wake up tomorrow thinking that we've already won the cup.
Just,
On that note, thank you very much, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Spurs.